you know what you don't know about hearing loss? I'm Belinda Waites, co-owner of Hear Eye Canada in Okotoks. Let me tell you what I didn't know. I didn't know I had a hearing loss. Now let me backtrack that a little bit. There were signs. I knew that there were certain sounds that are heard better on my left side. But like most people, I ignored it. There was also a few times over the winter walking on ice where I felt a little bit off balance, and I thought, could it be? And I was like, no, I need to strengthen my core muscles because it must be because I'm not strong enough to keep my balance on the ice. I mean, after all, my whole family wasn't having the same problem. When I went to a manufacturer in February, it was part of a learning experience to learn about their technology and the product. I was really fascinated. So the next day, I had a hearing test. Now, this was actually at the Starkey Center for Excellence in Minnesota. And it was such an amazing experience. Yes, I had a hearing test, and we all know if you haven't had a hearing test, it can be a little daunting going into the big sound booth. For the first time, I was experiencing it as a client, not the clinician sitting on the other side. I pushed the button and I focused really hard to make sure I didn't miss any. I was really focused on my words as well. Once again, I didn't want to mess anything up. And I really had to think about this is what my clients go through every single day. There's an emotion to that. I didn't want to be diagnosed with a hearing loss. And when I came out of the sound booth and I saw my test results, nobody had to say anything. I could see it. I had a noise-induced hearing loss on my right side. It explained everything. Everything that I knew as a clinician, but as a person, I didn't want to acknowledge it. Of course, being at the Starkey Center for Excellence, I can only describe it as a theme park for clinicians. It was amazing. Of course, now I could get the hearing aids that I wanted to try. I wanted to try the hearing aids without the hearing loss because I think hearing aids are pretty cool with all the technology that they can do. But now I had to look at it as a client, as a person getting used to the hearing loss, having to wear them every single day, and how that changed things. Just like everybody, I'd have to go through the rehabilitation process of sounds, getting used to hearing those different sounds that I hadn't been hearing on my right side. At the center, I got custom molds taken so that I could have a custom product attached to a receiver in the canal. I really like that style because it does help me listen to my podcasts. Actually, very often now, when I'm doing my morning walk, I will have my hearing aids in and my phone going. Sometimes I enjoy the quiet, and sometimes I enjoy listening to a podcast or some motivational speakers. I really need the inspiration sometimes to get through my day. And it's not because I don't like what I do. I love what I do. I just think all of us sometimes need a bit of inspiration. So back to the hearing aids and the hearing journey. One of my biggest sources of inspiration was that day, getting my custom molds. I had the privilege of meeting Bill Austin. He is the owner and founder of Starkey Hearing. And he was there working like apparently he does most days. He shows up for work and helps people hear better. This is someone who doesn't need to work. He could be lying on a beach or doing whatever he wants to do, but he chooses to show up and help people hear better on a daily basis. I couldn't find any better inspiration than that. So we had a long chat, and he told me how impactful it has been in his life, helping people hear better. It wasn't about the amazing places he's got to fly to or the parts of the world that he got to see. It was about the amount of people that he's helped hear better and how it's changed their lives. And that's the inspiration I took with me and that I try to use every single day in the clinic, is remembering my journey, even overcoming the difficulties I felt with getting used to my hearing aids, and Bill's inspiration of me helping other people treat their hearing loss and improving their quality of life. If you've been putting off having your hearing tested, I'd love to help you take that first step. Don't hesitate to reach out. And if you have a story to share about your personal hearing journey, I'd love to hear about it. Drop a note